All right, everybody. Howdy and welcome. My name is Kyle Reed, and I'm going to be demoing this compressor today. Or rather, just kind of an update, because I've already done one video on this compressor, and I've added a few features. So, first, by popular request, is the bypass switch. Bypass switch, bypass switch. So, down, the compressor is bypassed. We're getting no signal out of the compressor. Up, we do have signal coming into and out of the compressor. And let's switch the VU back to gain reduction. So, like I mentioned in the other video, the VU can do output monitoring in this position. Monitor the output. It swings just like the mic preamp does. Very cool. Or in the down position, we're monitoring how much gain reduction is happening. So right now, I'm not really hitting it enough to get much gain reduction at all. But you can see that needle move just a little bit when I get louder. And so the other addition I did is the zoom knob. And so what does that mean? Well, in building this thing, based on the Federal 864 AM-864 compressor, it didn't have a lot of these extra knobs and functions, and I've added and changed some stuff. But one thing I noticed is that as you change the threshold, you can actually see the needle on the VU moving. And that has to do with, because of what that's telling you, that's actually measuring a voltage across a resistor in the plate circuit of the gain reduction tubes. But it's always nice to kind of have that sitting at 0 so you can see how much gain reduction you're actually getting. So what I did is I added this knob. So let's say I want to set the threshold way up near the top. I can come over to the zoom knob and just re-zero it. So right now we have the threshold all the way at the top setting and the zoom at the bottom, and we're back at 0. So, but let's say we want to set a lower threshold because we want to be getting more compression. So let's lower that threshold and let's push our input up. And we'll bring our output back a bit. And let's turn the ratio up a little bit too. Hey now. So we're getting a lot more gain reduction. Well, hey now, getting some saturation and overdrive. So let's back it all off a bit. Hey, babba dibba dabba dabba day, won't you down down dabba 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 day? Hey. Well, hey now now, well, hey now now. Right on. So, yeah, those are the two new additions. I like this compressor a lot. Just a review, in case you didn't see the last video, it is a 9-pin and 7-pin tube version of a Federal AM-864 compressor. And I have added the following features. The original had this one knob for the input. The threshold and ratio were set and left alone. I added this output in the grid circuit of the second stage, so that we can push the gain reduction stage and then back it off before it hits the output tube and output transformer. I brought the threshold and ratio controls out to the very front instead of being buried inside the unit, so you can play around with those. Right now, I'd still like to improve the ratio range, because the sweet spot is in here. If you go too far this way, it's way too much compression. And so I'm going to play around with that a little bit more. That's kind of the final refinement. And then, of course, the attack and release controls I added just by tweaking the circuit. And yeah, that's most of what's going on here. The new additions, like I said, bypass switch, bypass switch, and the zoom knob, which I'm pretty proud of, And this is the compressor. I built it out of the Akai M7, M8 tube amps. It's got to be a left-hand channel, although this is a right. I added an extra tube socket. The left channels have just the right number of tube sockets to make this work. The right channel, I had to add a tube socket to it. But works great, sounds good. And once more, just for fun, let's turn that ratio up, that threshold down. Squash it. Squash it. Really squash it. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. This has been a demo video of the compressor, Kyle's Rad Amplification. Hit me up at Kyle Reed Music and Kyle's Rad Amplification on Instagram. Send me a message if you need one of these in your studio. You just might.